Yeah, oh yeah.
Oh yeah, Fractal Bitcoin. What's happening? Welcome to your daily Bitcoin news video. I'm Chris, and yes, this is a show about Bitcoin primarily, but overall it's about your future, your prosperity, your freedom, your liberty, your ability to just live life as a human being and experience this properly instead of being a slave. Okay, so let's get right to the chart. And here today, Bitcoin right now, it's about $67,293. You can see over the past 2 days, we've come down a little. These are daily candles. But, we're still making higher lows, right? Back on May 1st, we made a low. Then around May 10th, we made a higher low. And then May 20th, a higher low. 23rd, a higher low. And we're still making a higher low. So this is good in terms of it looks like we're going to continue upward. But again, this year, this summer, especially for the next 3, 4, 5 months, we could go sideways. And it wouldn't be weird at all, right? Everyone is so excited for the bull run, and I am too. But let's not forget, we're not supposed to peak. I mean, I say supposed to, but we're probably not going to peak until late 2025. So keep that in mind. All right, let's continue with the news. Yeah, well, this is also about the price from Wrecked Capital. Bitcoin continues to slide down after failing to reclaim the orange area as support. In fact, Bitcoin is showing signs that it has turned this orange area into new resistance. And if we look at the orange area, it's around 69K plus or minus. So yeah, you could see we've sort of viewed it as resistance and we're coming back down. But again, this is just... we'll see what happens, right? This is nothing tragic yet. Everything is great. I mean, we're still so close to the all-time high, right? Everything's great. Okay, today, BlackRock is now officially the biggest Bitcoin ETF after overtaking Grayscale. Incredible achievement in just 4 months. Yeah, you can see Grayscale started out with over 600,000 Bitcoin, and slowly their customers have been selling and selling. BlackRock started with 0. What was it, January 10th or January 11th? And now they just passed Grayscale. So, look, it's just, it doesn't really mean that much, but it just shows you what's happening in the market, right? And it's good to just pay attention. So here's Stacy Herbert posting that it was an honor to have the ARK Invest team in El Salvador. And here's a picture of all them, including the president of El Salvador and Kathy Wood. And there's Stacy Herbert. And here's Max Kaiser. And yeah, so this is El Salvador embracing Bitcoin companies. I was going to say there's another story we're going to get to in a minute that Ocean Mining is actually going to be opening up their headquarters in El Salvador. So El Salvador is just thriving beyond belief. It's really good to see. But here's interesting news. Just in, Mastercard just launched Crypto Credential, which allows you to send cryptocurrency to any customer at an exchange with a simple username instead of a wallet address. And yeah, apparently there's a little tutorial here, or just it's really an announcement. I don't know if this is all rolled out and up and running, but look, this shit just shows adoption, right? I mean, this is Mastercard. And they're going to allow people to send not just Bitcoin, but other other cryptos too. That's major adoption. I mean, anyway, look, I don't care what Mastercard does, and we don't need Mastercard. Let me just take this opportunity to remind everyone the best way to be in the Bitcoin space is to purchase Bitcoin, and this is not financial advice, but you buy Bitcoin and take it off the exchange and store it on your own hardware wallet. That's the best way to own Bitcoin. Period. Has nothing to do with Mastercard or any of these other cryptos. No other cryptos. Forget all them. So I just wanted to remind everyone of that. Yeah, pretty interesting, Mastercard. And here's the news about Ocean. Ocean Mining Pool is opening an international hub of business in San Salvador, which is the capital of El Salvador. So yeah, this is news today. Ocean Mining is it's a mining pool, and it's actually the pool that I'm mining with. I bought this little BitAxe miner, very tiny miner, just to get in the game, and I have it connected to the Ocean Mining pool, which is pretty good. So yeah, anyway, just more adoption and also good news for El Salvador. Now here's some interesting news from Gemini, because I reported yesterday or the day before that people who are going to be getting their money back from the Mt. Gox debacle 11 years ago, they're not getting their Bitcoin back. They're getting the US dollar equivalent of what they had stolen from them 11 years ago. But Gemini, they had a partnership with Genesis and a few other firms that went bankrupt. And now Gemini is coming out and saying that the Gemini Earn was their program. They're coming out and saying that they are going to give the money back to all their people. And this is important. For example, if you had lent 1 Bitcoin in the Earn program, you will receive 1 Bitcoin back. I mean, this is the way it should be, right? If I lost 1 Bitcoin, then you give me 1 Bitcoin. So this is good. And look, Gemini is run by the Winklevoss twins. So it's good to see someone, at least in some regard, doing something good for the users, right? The end users. So I like to see this. Just a reminder to subscribe if you'd like to. And let's get into some fiat and government nonsense for context, because Bitcoin solves these issues. Yes. Solution, Bitcoin. Yeah, here's a senior member of Singapore's government saying, one day you will not be able to print US dollars just like that. Printing US dollars to fund war is coming to an end. That's what he said. And this is true. They're printing money to be involved in all these wars. And by printing the money, they're devaluing it. They're ruining the currency. It's going to crash. And it's just these government cartel psychos who are doing it because they have their finger on the money printer. They can print money and they just funnel it back to themselves. We know this is happening. This isn't even questionable anymore. But anyway, the point is, one day, printing a lot more money is not going to mean anything because it's just going to be like toilet paper instead of currency notes. And Bitcoin solves this, because on a Bitcoin standard, you can't just print money and go to war and kill people, because you can't print money and no one's going to spend their Bitcoin to go over to some foreign country and kill people. They're not going to do it. So Bitcoin solves this. And here, just in, judge ordered SEC to pay $1.8 million in damages for abusing its power against crypto company Debtbox. Yeah, so this is nice to see the SEC get slapped. Look, this doesn't mean they're going to stop doing this. Of course they're going to keep doing this. They're just going to keep harassing crypto companies left and right. We know this. This is not new. It's never going to change. And every now and then a judgment will go in favor of a company and the SEC will have to pay $1.8 million. I mean, come on, what? $1.8 million? What is that? That's nothing. So these criminals, they just abuse their power and they get a little tiny slap on the wrist. It's terrible. Yeah, and here's a woman who posted it. And by the way, I'm going to read this post and then I'm going to read the response. The response I have next. So I'll read. This is interesting. This is from someone who knows nothing about Bitcoin, just to, give you a heads up. If the government bans the use of Bitcoin, then what's the point? You won't be able to buy anything with it. You won't be able to convert it back into real currency. The entire world of Bitcoin and the wealth created within it could vanish overnight, along with cash. Okay. Sean Clark's response, which this is the part I like, you missed the point. Bitcoin is the money. The world currencies are literally going to zero. Think about that. Please read these 2 books before asking half questions and adding statements. Yeah, and then I don't know what this sentence is. You old of all being great question, whatever. But anyway, the 2 books mentioned are B is for Bitcoin and Parallel. And he mentions here, 1 full weekend, you will understand. So imagine that, reading 2 books over a weekend and you'll understand Bitcoin. Yeah, because Bitcoin is the money. That's what people don't understand yet. People still think fiat is the real money and Bitcoin is this weird other thing. No, it's opposite. Bitcoin is the only real money ever. And it's exposing all these fiat currencies for being the toilet paper that they are. And here are the books. This is B is for Bitcoin. It's actually a kid's book. I don't know if he was trolling her by saying this, but I've actually heard of this book before. B is for Bitcoin. And it's not just for kids. It's for, your child, your friend, or even a no-coiner. Yeah, so this is a book. I'll link to it in the show notes as I link to everything. This is the other book, Parallel, The Bitcoin Social Layer by Brian DeMint, Knut Svanholm, and one other. So yeah, these are 2 books. And look, here's the thing about books, right? Books are really important when it comes to Bitcoin. The first book you should read is called The Bitcoin Standard by Saifedean Ammous. That's the first required reading of Bitcoin for anyone ever, for all time, probably, because that just sets the stage, compares Bitcoin to fiat and all that. But there are many other books. In fact, I wrote a note to myself before I started recording this video. I'm going to make a book list on the website, fractalbitcoin.com. So that will be coming soon. All right, let's get back to it. Yeah, Freddie New says, once again, as unfortunately, we need to keep saying this. Okay, let's go over it. CBDCs. We all have to keep this front of mind, because here's the thing with CBDCs. Even though the government just came out and pretty much said, no, we're not going to have a CBDC, that doesn't mean they're not going to try. It doesn't mean it's not going to happen. So, CBDCs decrease the cost of authoritarian enforcement for governments. At the moment, I may have 6 or 7 bank accounts. If the government wants to cut me off from the financial system, they have to write to 6 different banks, get a bunch of different court orders, etc. With a CBDC, if all your money is concentrated in one place, it can be turned off with a switch. We should not and will not tolerate our governments and their central banks having this level of power over us. It's incompatible with living in a free society. We will be building a coalition across society and across Europe to resist this, and across the world. So yeah, CBDCs are literally the best weapon in the hands of authoritarian governments, and we should never let it happen. We can never let it happen, and we will never let it happen. So never forget. And here, this is this event called Bitcoin 2024 in Nashville in July. I'll link to it below, of course. But you, young people, if they're students, if you're in college, you can get a student pass. You can attend this for free. Yeah, so you can apply to get a free ticket to Bitcoin 2024. Yeah, so just for all you young people, or if you have kids or nieces and nephews, tell them, look, education is what it's all about. And if these young kids can learn earlier rather than later, it's better. So anyway, invite all the students. I think they need a .edu email address. So they need to be registered at like a real school, apparently. But yeah, check it out anyway. This is our website, fractalbitcoin.com. And click this link on top here. It says join our locals community. And here's our locals community. Yeah, this is where we hang out and chat. It's free to join. Definitely jump in. And it's good to join the locals community, because you never know when YouTube or really any platform is going to cancel you and nuke your whole channel. But on Locals is a good company that they wouldn't do that. It's a private group. So, but yeah, thanks for watching. Please subscribe to the channel. Please follow the channel and like the video and all that. I really appreciate you guys, all your good comments, your supportive comments. I really appreciate it. Bitcoin is really important. That's why I make these daily videos. This is more important than you think it is by a long shot. This is probably the most important thing of our lives, Bitcoin, and taking the money out of the hands of the government. I mean, what's more important than that? Fix the money, fix the world. All right, I'll see you tomorrow for tomorrow's Bitcoin news video. All right, bye.